Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're doing another Stratego analysis on strategus, and today we're playing against Winner. This is using the replay feature on strategus, as I've shown in the previous video. And now me and Winner have done several best of 7 series, and this is the first best of series, game 7. Or game 6, sorry. It was 3 games to 2 for me, and this is the series clincher. So let's start. So my game plan with Winner is to just get as much info as possible to potentially manipulate that. So I just charge in with my major and go for something. And here you see that I got a lieutenant, and then I traded majors, which is the best case scenario for me, unless I get a captain as well. And then, as I said, I want to be aggressive, so I have my general here. Marshall is kind of in an aggressive spot. I usually have a third row, so I know he's not a great player, so I can be more arrogant with losing majors and captains instead of against the other higher elo players. So he's advancing in the middle. I want him to advance in the middle as I have my colonel and major there along with my spy. But overall the setup is pretty basic, and I just need my pieces where I want them to be so I can maneuver them around. He's advancing on the left side. He scouts that scout, and we trade, meaning my flag is open, so I have to try and cover it with my lieutenant. I see a lot of this with lower elo players where if they have an open flag, they'll just leave it completely open, ready to be scouted. That's not really good to do. And this is the bottom row of the setup is actually very unique. I want it to be a tricky flag, as it's a serious game for me, game 7, the best of 7. So I have 3 bombs, 2 bombs, and then flags kind of unpredictable on the side. So I find a colonel there in the middle, which is good as my mage is right there. Then I'll put some pressure on that piece beside his colonel. Free piece right there, lieutenant. Perfect. And then I would want to trade. But this could also be a good piece. So now here, I don't know what this piece is, but I'm suspecting it could be good. And if we rewind a bit, and this piece right here it was right here. So I'm thinking, oh, he brought it out so early in the game, there's no way it could be a good piece. Now we go back here. That piece is pressuring me. I move, and then I recall that this piece that I'm diagonal with has moved early in the game, so I move beside it, and it's obviously not a good piece. I didn't know what he was really thinking there, but he was just trying to bluff that piece, and it didn't work out for him. So now I pretty much know that this is a good piece, marshal or a general. Could be a spy bluff or a spy bluffing as a marshal or general, but on the flank. I know he likes his spy on the flank, but I don't think that's reasonable. So it's obviously a good piece. I kind of want him to approach on this side where my general is, but he's not doing that, and I'm doing pretty well on this side, as I know now major, colonel, most likely marshal if you're having a colonel and a major, and I haven't really given up anything, and I'm up 2 lieutenants as well. This could be a general as well. So now I want to trade colonels so I can bring another major up, or a captain up, since I know a major in the vicinity on his side there. This is probably not a good piece. Yeah, just a scout. And then I don't want to trade as I'm in better position where all his pieces on that side are known. So I can kind of counterattack with my marshal later in the game if I want to, or general. Whereas he has almost no info on me. Now I can bluff this lieutenant. Hopefully get a sergeant out of it, maybe a scout. Yep, sergeant right there. And then he reveals his general. So I obviously knew that was something good because it was pressuring my colonel earlier in the game. So now I know general, major, colonel. What I could think is maybe spy, but it could be on the other side with the marshal. I know he likes to overload, but I didn't think in this scenario he would. Now I'll trade majors, maybe not, but yeah, trade majors there. Now I'm in a pretty good position. Trade scouts. And my goal with this setup is to keep my marshal here, so that in the end game he doesn't realize I can bluff other pieces of marshals like minors so that I can get a good piece in the end game. I don't really want to move my marshal much. Like I usually don't, so I'll stick with that. Now this piece of protein could be a captain, major, maybe a scout. I'll trade colonels, and then now I know I can bring a captain up since his major was on this side. So if we traded those majors already, there's no way he would have another one right in that area to capture my captain. It's those little things that lower skilled players don't do. When you trade a piece, you should bring a lower piece or a higher piece by 1 rank. And if you keep on trading that same piece, keep on trading captains, you always have to bring a lieutenant because he's not going to have a lieutenant. The best thing you're going to find is a major or a colonel. It's all about applying pressure after you've traded. Now I'll take that good thing I traded captains. I knew he wouldn't have another major soon because his major he actually just revealed. Now it's all about just putting pressure. I know he's a defensive player. He doesn't really act on anything. He's more of a shuffler. So I just have to be patient and get ready to put pressure wherever it comes. And now I'm suspecting his marshal is one of these. It could be one of these two, trying to be tricky like me, but I don't know. Now I found a colonel, his last colonel, meaning my major can be more aggressive and my captains can be more aggressive. But now I'll bluff with the minor, trying to open a tripod or something like that. I think he might think that my general is a good piece, which is bad for me, but my marshal's obviously totally unexpected. And obviously I want to keep my major here because neither of these two pieces are the marshal, so they can't capture my major. So if I keep on putting continuous pressure, he'll eventually fold. Okay, so he's pressuring with a colonel and a piece. Maybe a lieutenant or a sergeant. But maybe a scout as well. But it can't be anything better than that. So I'll pressure with my colonel. And then I'll take it. Just a minor. So it wasn't a really good idea to take with my colonel. I should have just taken with the sergeant below it. Now this could be a suspected marshal. One of these two are my thoughts right now. Obviously this game was about a month ago, so I don't really remember it much. Yeah, so we've been doing installments of Best of Sevens, and we've done 3 of them so far. The result has been in favor for me all 3 times, and I'll be posting all the series clinching games in the next couple of days. So this is game 6 of our first Best of 7. Then I'll be posting game 7 of our second Best of 7 and game 7 of our third Best of 7. And the third Best of 7 is really intriguing, as I was down 3 games to nothing and won 4 in a row. So I'll post that soon. And it was a great game. So was this one. It shows that you just have to. This game shows that you just have to be patient. And there's his marshal right there. So if we rewind a bit, marshal right here. It started right here. Keep on going back. Marshal's right here. And then so it's obviously started around here, meaning, and I usually recall that during games, I kind of track pieces like that. So I know flag can be one of these 3 most likely. Maybe in the corner, maybe tripod here because the general was here. But you should always be looking around where potential flag spots can be. So here we are back with the marshal being revealed. Now he's bringing a lieutenant to try and find something. Now I'll bluff this minor as I want to get a tripod. I want to get a bomb off a tripod. Unfortunately, I find just a sergeant, which is not great. And if we look at the graveyard here, I'm up a lieutenant but down 2 sergeants. So it's a pretty even game, but I have all the info. I have his general, marshal, and colonel, where he only has my colonel, I believe. And here is a big blunder by me. So during the game, I mixed up his general and his colonel. So when he brought his lieutenant, I took it because I thought, oh, this is his colonel. So that's just a really bad blunder by me, and it just shows that memory is a big part of this game. So now I'm down a colonel and up 2 lieutenants. Scout that to eliminate the tripod possibility there. Now I'm just bluffing with my spy. Hoping his marshal can move right next to it. And with this lieutenant, I'm trying to draw a sergeant so I can get my lead back up on the sergeants. Yeah, it's against these types of shufflers that I play against. I have sometimes a really bad memory remembering where the pieces are, so those mistakes are crucial. And now he's pressuring with my gen, and I don't want him to figure it out, so I'll just play safe here. Now he's pressuring my spy. This could potentially be a scout or minor. If it'd be a minor, that'd be kind of sad, but I guess my lieutenant's right there, and it is, so I take it. So obviously he can go through all my bombs there. Now I'm pressuring with my major. It's just about being patient. I kind of want my minor on this right side to get a potential corner flag or tripod here. He might have an open flag, which could be unexpected since it's a crucial game for him. Now I just want this sergeant, and he'll attack my general. So I think this was not a great move by me to reveal my general for a sergeant, but it shows that I'm putting pressure, and I'm trying to get his corner flag here as well. So I'll take that, it's a bomb. And then we'll trade generals, and then me thinking he has a corner flag, I just hit his last sergeant. An advantage here for me is that even though I'm down a colonel, I'm up 2 lieutenants, and his last 2 sergeants are both known, meaning that in endgame I don't have to worry about those 2 sergeants. Now, what's developed in the middle here is me bluffing my spy as marshal, or he thinks it might be a spy as well. Now I'm bluffing this minor as a spy. Of course, I haven't moved my marshal in a while. It started here, and then early on in the game I moved it here. Okay, still bluffing my spy as marshal. And I might put pressure with my minor yet. And I know he has 1 captain left. And I know his lieutenant and last 2 sergeants, so I'm doing really well right now. My goal here is, now that I know he has an open flag, because it's very rare that it'll be right here, as his marshal was here and his general was here. So I kind of want to bring some minors, because I know his last 2 sergeants and lieutenant, and try and take out these 3 pieces, and maybe try and scout one of these 3 pieces as well. So just putting pressure with my scout. Trying to find its last captain. Still bluffing my miner as my spy. Now he's pressuring my spy, which I really don't like. So I'm in a bit of a precarious situation now. I don't really know what to do, because he's just moving around, kind of shuffling. Now I know his spy is there for sure. Now I'll move my spy just to... It's all about being risky against these type of players. They probably won't call it since they're more defensive. They shuffle. This is probably his last captain, if I were to guess. And now I scouted his spy, which was the point of my scout. And then I'll save it, because that scout could be very important for scouting his open flag in the endgame. And now his captain and colonel, or his supposed captain, is trying to trap my lieutenant. So I'll move between those two pieces, trying to bluff his marshal, but obviously I can't take that piece beside. Now he pretty much knows that this is my spy. So we'll just trade captains, though I lose my spy. So now I'm in a losing position now. Down a colonel, up one lieutenant, and down two sergeants. So now I have to be really tricky with my marshal now. And I'll just try and throw a lot of bluff miners at him. So now that I know, since I went all the way here and tried to scout this, that it's not good, so I don't want to scout it anymore, because he didn't try and cover it up, meaning it's not the flag. So these are my two options now for the flag. And now I'll bring a bluff marshal up miner and try and scoop these two up. Obviously, this is a minor, as I know his lieutenant and last two sergeants. So I'll keep his colonel here at bay with my bluff marshal. Now you can try and bring a minor up. My goal here is to try and trade lieutenants. First, I'll trade miners there. And now he's looking scared that I could maybe potentially lotto one of these two, so that's good for me. I'll trade lieutenants. And now I'm trying to bluff a back row marshal with this lieutenant, or still bluffing this minor as a marshal. And my ultimate goal here is to try and bring a minor and get one of these two. And that's what I'm doing right now. So hopefully his sergeants don't call my minor. So he's letting me hit this, which I find weird, but I'll take that. And now he's looking a bit desperate with his marshal. He was moving pretty fast at this point. And so I know this is his minor, so I can't let him take all my bombs here. And now I'll just lotto with my lieutenant, because I most likely think the flag is here. But obviously it could be one of these. So just to be safe. Now I'll take that, and there it is. So this whole game shows that you need patience to win against these types of defensive shufflers. I obviously didn't move my marshal almost the whole game. I hadn't moved in at least 600 moves. And using miners as bluffs to potentially get the flag, maybe getting a bomb off the tripod, a corner flag, just trying to get some info. Obviously, this game I ran into trouble with my bluff miners. I ran into two sergeants, which wasn't good. But also predicting where the flag will be. Most players will try and go for the tripod with their miner on this side. But if I know that the marshal spawned around here and the general here, it's most likely not going to be there unless they're a weak side type of player, and I know from his tendencies he likes to have flag on his strong side. So yeah, that's game 6 of me versus Winner. Thank you for watching. Leave a like and subscribe, and see you in the next video.